20 years ago, in the bustling hallways of Northwood High, there was a boy named Leo. Unlike his classmates who worried about prom dates and final exams, Leo worried about where he would sleep at night. He was homeless, a secret he tried desperately to hide. He wore the same faded jacket every day, his stomach often rumbling with hunger during class. His classmates, particularly a group led by a popular guy named Mark, didn't try to understand. They saw only the surface, the worn-out clothes, the quiet demeanor. They nicknamed him Shadow because he was always lurking in the corners, trying to be invisible. They'd snicker when he passed, loudly discussing their lavish weekend plans or new gadgets, making sure he could hear. One day during lunch, Mark and his friends cornered Leo. They accidentally spilled a tray of food all over him, laughing as he stood there, covered in ketchup and humiliation. "Guess the Shadow needs a free meal," Mark jeered. Leo didn't say a word. He just walked away, their laughter echoing behind him like a cruel anthem. That was the last day anyone saw Leo at Northwood High. He just vanished. Fast forward 20 years. The invitation for the Northwood High 20-year reunion arrived. Mark, now a mid-level manager at a local firm, was excited to relive the glory days. He and his old friends, Chloe and Ben, met up before the event, reminiscing about their high school antics. "Hey, remember that kid, Leo? The Shadow?" Ben chuckled. "Wonder whatever happened to him. Probably still living on the streets." Chloe chimed in. "So sad, but he was always so weird." They laughed, the casual cruelty of their youth still lingering. At the reunion, the ballroom was filled with familiar faces, people who had traded their youthful dreams for mortgages and careers. Mark was in his element, shaking hands and telling old stories. The night was in full swing when the doors to the ballroom opened and a man walked in. He was dressed in a perfectly tailored suit, exuding an air of quiet confidence that commanded attention. A hush fell over the room. Everyone was wondering, "Who is that?" He looked familiar, but no one could quite place him. The man walked calmly to the center of the room, a warm, knowing smile on his face. Mark and his friends stared, a strange sense of unease creeping over them. The man took the microphone from the DJ. "Hello, Northwood class of '04, he began, his voice smooth and clear. "It's been a while. Some of you might not recognize me. 20 years ago, you knew me as Shadow." A collective gasp swept through the room. It was Leo. But this wasn't the timid, withdrawn boy they remembered. This was a man who was completely comfortable in his own skin. Mark's face went pale. Chloe and Ben looked at each other in disbelief. Leo continued, "I see a lot of surprised faces. I guess you didn't expect to see me here. Back then, life was challenging. Every day was a struggle for survival, and some of you," he said, his gaze briefly landing on Mark, "didn't make it any easier." The room was silent, the weight of his words hanging in the air. "But I want to thank you." "Thank you?" a voice from the crowd whispered, confused. "Yes, thank you," Leo repeated, his smile widening. "Because your ridicule, your mockery, it lit a fire in me. That day you spilled food on me, Mark, I didn't just walk away from the cafeteria, I walked away from that life. I knew I deserved better." He explained how he got his GED, worked 2 jobs while attending community college, and eventually earned a scholarship to a top university. He talked about his passion for technology, which led him to start his own software company. "The hotel we're in tonight?" Leo paused, letting the suspense build. "I own it. In fact, I sponsored this reunion because I wanted to see you all again. I wanted to show you that a person's circumstances don't define their destiny." The entire room was stunned into silence. Mark looked like he had seen a ghost, his high school swagger completely gone. Leo wasn't seeking revenge. He was offering a lesson in humility and grace. Leo then announced that his company's foundation was making a significant donation to a local charity that supports homeless youth, right in their old hometown. He invited anyone who was interested to get involved. The atmosphere in the room completely shifted. The initial shock turned into awe, and then, for many, a deep sense of shame. After his speech, people didn't rush to him to network. Instead, they approached him hesitantly, offering sincere apologies. Chloe was one of the first, tears in her eyes. "Leo, I am so sorry," she said. We were just kids, but that's no excuse. We were horrible. Ben followed, shaking his hand and admitting he was ashamed of his past behavior. Finally, Mark approached, his head down. "Leo," he stammered. I have no words. What I did was unforgivable. Your success? You earned it. I was a jerk." Leo looked at his former tormentor, not with anger, but with a sense of peace. He simply nodded and said, "We were all young, Mark. The important thing is who we choose to be today." That night, no one talked about their old high school glories. They talked about Leo. They talked about second chances and the power of resilience. Leo didn't show up to gloat. He showed up to close a chapter and start a new one built on compassion. He proved that the best response to mockery isn't anger, but extraordinary success and a generous spirit. His story became a legend for the Northwood class of '04, a powerful reminder that you should never, ever judge someone by their current situation, because you have no idea who they're destined to become. The quiet shadow from the hallways had become a beacon of light, illuminating the power of kindness and the incredible strength of the human spirit. What an incredible story of transformation, right? It really shows that your past doesn't have to dictate your future. Leo's journey is a testament to the power of inner strength and forgiveness. We can all learn something from his grace. If this story moved you, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We love sharing stories that inspire and uplift. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.